Pardon me, Mr. Jordan. Could I have your your John Hancock?
What's going on here?
We need your help!
Welcome to your weekly ticket. Amy Adams' next project has been announced. Adams will play a woman who thinks she's turning into a dog in Annapurna's Night Bitch. The project is being adapted from Rachel Yoder's upcoming debut novel by the same name. Night Bitch is a dark comedy of a woman and former artist thrust into stay-at-home domesticity after the birth of her son, who becomes increasingly worried and convinced that she may be turning into a dog. The film marks the 5th collaboration between Annapurna and Adams. Issa Rae and Jordan Peele are teaming up for a new genre film at Universal. The film, which is being adapted from a short story by Lena Crow, follows a young family that moves into its dream home despite a gaping sinkhole in the backyard. The mysterious sinkhole manages to fix broken and destroyed things, but also explores the possibility of that thing being a person. The announcement says the film is a genre piece that engages on the question of female perfection and identity. The project is being developed as a potential star vehicle for Ray. And Robert De Niro, Anne Hathaway, and Oscar Isaac are set to join Cate Blanchett in Armageddon Time. The coming-of-age story explores friendship and loyalty against the backdrop of an America poised to elect Ronald Reagan as president. The period drama will be directed by James Gray, and the story will draw from his own childhood memories. The film will also star Donald Sutherland, who most recently collaborated with Gray on Ad Astra. Well, I threw on my old team's sports jersey because sports are back. Well, they're kind of back, but sports movies are here regardless of what happens with the experiments with the Big Four leagues, which is why today I wanted to highlight Fandango Now's list of 60 big league movies. And today I have a special guest for you, sports fan, reporter for CNN, Frank Pallotta. Frank, what do you got for us? What are some picks from this list that you recommend?
So I have 2 picks. The first pick is going to be a baseball movie, and it's one of the best baseball movies of all time. It is A League of Their Own. And the reason that I picked A League of Their Own is not just because of the great performances by Gina Davis and Tom Hanks, who's actually playing against type as one of the slobbiest characters in movie history as Jimmy Dugan, but also because it's a baseball movie that takes place during a really turbulent time, World War II. And that's what kind of led to the all-girls league. The sports leagues had to come together to figure out how are we going to put on baseball during a really traumatic time during our nation's history, which is kind of like now. So it's not only like a really fun movie with some of the best lines in sports movie history, such as, there's no crying in baseball, but also it kind of speaks to our time in a very comedic and fun way.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people dress up as League of Their Own for Halloween, too. That's how much of a cult classic that is.
Yeah, I just drink a bunch of beer and then I'm dressed up as Jimmy Dugan, too. So there you go. The other one is, since baseball has been back, but also we have the NBA coming back, I picked a seminal work of sports films, which is the classic known as Space Jam. So why did I pick, Space Jam, mwah. So why did I pick Space Jam? Well, it's because we're kind of in like a Michael Jordan renaissance right now. If you remember earlier in the pandemic, everyone was watching ESPN's docuseries The Last Dance, which was about Michael Jordan and the 1990 Chicago Bulls. So this is kind of like an epilogue to that. You can watch Michael run around with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, shooting threes, taking on aliens, which is probably the next thing that's going to happen in 2020, because we've had everything else happen, from murder hornets to, a pandemic. So probably aliens are on their way. But it's also a really fun family film. Everyone can really enjoy it. It's a fun little sports movie. It's kind of weird. It has great cameos from NBA stars like Charles Barkley, and a great performance also by Bill Murray, who is playing alongside Michael Jordan, but unfortunately never got his chance to be a Chicago Bull. He did put up some big plays in the game against the Monstars, but not NBA quality.
Yeah, I think his years are over though. Do you think he could do it now?
I think Bill Murray can do whatever Bill Murray wants. He has that power.
Also, something to note is there is going to be a sequel to Space Jam coming out soon. So this might be some homework too.
Yeah, it's we're supposed to get Space Jam 2 next year with LeBron James, who many would argue is a better player than Michael Jordan. That's a big argument. I don't know how I fall on that, but you could argue it. And I think it's a good time for this to come back next year because, Space Jam is one of those nostalgic type of movies. And the Looney Tunes never really get old. They've been around since like the 30s. So this is going to be a fun time. So you can watch this movie and prepare for next year, and also use it to finish off all your Michael Jordan love during the pandemic.
Now, both of your movies somehow had baseball in it, but I do want to know which sport dominates the film industry. Like, is there one that is more inherently easy to adapt to film?
Yeah, I think it's baseball. I think baseball is such a romantic sport. And cinema itself is romantic. It romanticizes reality. And when you think about all of the moments that have really touched you in sports movies, they have been things like, you know, the end of The Natural, where Robert Redford hits that home run into the lights and there's sparks and all of that. And of course, spoiler alert, the end of Field of Dreams, which I don't want to give away, but if you're not crying at the end of Field of Dreams, go to a doctor right now because you don't have a heart. It is just a beautiful movie, and baseball is kind of like life. It's long with these big, you know, home run moments, and movies really are able to capture the romance of baseball better than any other sports in cinema.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely cried at that one. Is there any particular film that you think deserves a sequel or a reboot that kind of modernizes it, or like makes a commentary on how that sport has changed to date?
So I think White Man Can't Jump would be a great sequel, just because the NBA has grown into such a global league over these last couple of years. And obviously that movie's not about the NBA, it's more about basketball. But you could include so many great NBA cameos alongside Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, two actors I really love in that movie, Rosie Perez too. And I just think it's a really fun kind of way to kind of update it. Maybe you can have Woody and Wesley's characters play coaches who have to kind of like go up against each other once again. And I just think it's a good time for that right now. I could say, you know, things like Major League, but they actually made sequels that no one saw. So you really can't that one. Yeah, I know. There's a Major League too. Oh my God. But yeah, White Man Can't Jump. They could call it White Man Still Can't Jump. And I think it was
there you go. He's doing all the work for you.
While you're doing it, Hollywood. Money, please.
All right. Well, thank you so much for jumping on the show and talking sports with someone who's only so into the sports world. I appreciate it.
Of course, this was, as they would say, a slam dunk.
But if you're looking for some other recommendations from our list of 60 big league movies, here are a couple more that are based on true stories that you can watch on Fandango now.
You smiling? Why are you smiling?
Football's fun.
You think football is fun?
Yes, no.
No?
Certain.
Remember the Titans is based on actual events that took place in 1971 when a high school in Virginia is integrated with black students from a nearby school. Both schools are recognized for their football program, which are now unified. But when the black coach is chosen to be the head coach of the newly integrated team, the previous head coach is left with feelings of animosity. The film stars Denzel Washington, Will Patton, Wood Harris, and Ryan Gosling. Also available to watch at home, Miracle.
Back in 1960, Coach Brooks was on the Olympic hockey team. But a week before the games, his coach cuts him and sends him home. And that team went on to win the gold medal without him.
Miracle tells the story of a team that transcended its sport and united a nation with a new feeling of hope. Based on the true story of one of the greatest moments in sports history, the tale captures a time and place where differences could be settled by games and a Cold War could be put on ice. In 1980, the United States ice hockey team coach Herb Brooks took a team of college kids up against the legendary juggernaut from the Soviet Union at the Olympic Games. Despite the long odds, Team USA carried the pride of a nation yearning for a distraction from the world events. All right, well, that's it for today. Make sure to check out that full list of 60 big league movies. We'll leave a link below, and leave us a comment and let us know which one is your favorite. I'm Khail, and I'll see you next time.